Hey, stepmom, are you getting excited about Mother's Day? No? I know, it's a totally awkward holiday for stepmoms. But don't worry, I've got you covered in today's episode. I'm Cameron. I spent years building my career and creating a life I loved. And when my Prince Charming finally showed up, he had 4 kids in tow. Fast forward through lots of mistakes made and lessons learned, step-family life was much more complicated than I realized. If you're looking for help with blended family life, you're in the right place. Welcome to the Stepmom Diaries, where we keep it real as we dish about all the things. This is your weekly dose of blended family inspiration and encouragement. You're not the wicked stepmother, so let me help you find your fairy tale ending. Come on, let's do this. Hey stepmom, thanks for joining me today. Let's talk about Mother's Day. For weeks in advance, the stores are all filled with Mother's Day cards and mugs talking about best mom ever and number one mom. And, the morning shows are all saturated with segments about Mother's Day gifts and what you can fix for Mother's Day brunch. And, does mom want a spa day to herself or spending the day with the kids? Let's face it, that can cause a lot of uncomfortable emotions for stepmoms. And if you're feeling like some combination of left out, like you're a mom imposter, or maybe just even a little sad, that is totally normal. So let's discuss. Depending on your family situation, maybe you get a passing acknowledgement on Mother's Day. I don't know. Maybe your spouse and your stepkids celebrate you every year. And if that's the case, kudos, girlfriend. I am so thrilled for you. Maybe it's more like a forced celebration before the kids head off to celebrate with their mom that day. Or maybe you're not recognized at all. Whatever the situation is, being a stepmom on Mother's Day can be absolutely triggering. The fact is that many of us as stepmoms undertake all the same duties of motherhood, right? We are picking up kids from school, we're taking them to doctor's appointments, we're nursing them when they're sick, we're buying gifts for them, we're arranging sleepovers and birthday parties. But our work and our love for them, frankly, may never, ever receive the same recognition as that of a mother. And we may even struggle with calling ourselves a mother or even a parent. My first year as a stepmom, I remember when I had friends and family who texted and called and emailed on Mother's Day, wishing me a happy day. I felt really weird responding to them because I just didn't feel like I should be celebrated. I wasn't a real mom, right? When I expressed that to my mother-in-law, she took me to task in the nicest way possible. She said, look, we all know what you're doing for these kids. You're doing so much for them. You are every bit of a mother. And my sisters-in-law said the same thing. And so did my friends. And so did my family. And thank God for all of them who pushed back on me and encouraged me to, be able to recognize myself on that day, right? But guess what? If you feel like I did on that first Mother's Day, maybe a little reluctant, maybe a little bit like a fraud, that is totally normal and also really common. Mother's Day can be another reminder to stepmoms that we are less than, right? That we're in the family, but we don't always feel like we're totally in the family. It can reinforce all of our insecurities and imposter feelings, frankly, that we struggle with year-round. But it doesn't have to be that way. So today, I want to talk to you about 3 things that you can do to take away those awkward feelings around Mother's Day and to celebrate on your own terms. The first thing I want to talk to you about is to embrace your feelings, whatever they are. I want you to think about what it is you're feeling around Mother's Day. Take a step back and think about what those emotions are and name them. If you want to write that down, however you want to kind of take a quiet moment and think about that. Once you can figure out exactly what those emotions are, then you can deal with them, right? So is it that you're feeling like it's another reminder that you're not a real mother? that it's reinforcing that you're not enough or that you feel like an imposter? Maybe is it that you feel like you're doing all this work throughout the year and maybe mom's not so great and she's getting celebrated and you're not? Whatever you're feeling is totally allowed. It's totally okay. Whatever you're feeling is a normal stepmom emotion. I want you to know that. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't try to reset your outlook just a little bit. So, you can identify what you're feeling and then challenge those thoughts, right? So if you're feeling a little bit like a fraud, like you're not a real mom, right? Remind yourself, no, you're not a biological mother. You're not these kids' mother. You never will be, right? That's the reality. However, you are absolutely a parent, regardless of who recognizes your efforts, right? The reality is, as a stepmom, you have the opportunity to develop a really unique and special relationship with the kids, one that is unlike their biological parent. And if they're open to it, you can actually work with your stepkids to figure out what that relationship is going to look like. That is an amazing opportunity. And it's amazing to have that kind of flexibility in a relationship. Biological parents don't have that. That is unique to stepmoms and to stepparents, right? It's okay to feel like a fraud. It's okay to feel like you're not a real mom. But I want you to challenge that thought, all right? Look at what you're doing with the kids, what they think of you, and what you think of what you're doing. The reality is, if you can identify some of the negative emotions you've got around this holiday, you can then start to reframe them and look for maybe the positive in those feelings. And a little intentionality around your mindset will absolutely help you feel like you can handle Mother's Day. Hey, stepmom, do you want a totally free 30-minute coaching session with yours truly? Well, you're in luck because I am giving one away. If you would like to win a totally free 30-minute coaching session with me, just head over to iTunes Podcasts, leave a review for the Stepmom Diaries, preferably by saying something lovely, of course. Screenshot your review and send it to me at hello@thiscustomlife.com, or you can post it and tag me on social media. I'll enter you into a drawing, and one lucky winner stepmom is going to get a totally free 30-minute coaching session with me. So what are you waiting for? Head on over to iTunes and leave your review now. So number 2, I want you to check your expectations. So let's talk about that. What are your expectations as a stepmom on Mother's Day? Do you expect the kids to wake you up with flowers and breakfast in bed? Do you expect, cards detailing their love for you and appreciation for everything you do for them every day? Let me just give you a little bit of a reality check here, friend. Even biological moms are often disappointed when real life collides with that fantasy. Let's just be real here. I am not saying that you shouldn't expect anything. I'm also not saying you need to, keep your assumptions at 0 level and assume that nothing is going to be done to recognize you. But I am suggesting that if you expect some sort of Disney scene of loving kids and a doting spouse, you are probably going to be disappointed. So let's keep your expectations in check. And also, try not to get offended that most of the kids' attention around Mother's Day is going to go to their mom. She's their biological mom, okay? They've known her their whole life. And remember, kids often experience loyalty binds between their mom and their stepmom, especially in high conflict situations. So even in the best of situations, a child can feel guilty for loving their stepmom. They can feel like they're betraying their mother. But when you have a high conflict situation, that can really translate into them feeling like if they celebrate you as a mother, or if they love you, or if they enjoy spending time with you, that they're betraying their mom. And if they feel like they're betraying their mom, they are not going to be enthusiastic about recognizing you on Mother's Day. They may sit at the breakfast table with pancakes and flowers, but they may be sullen. They may not say a whole lot. They may be reluctant, to do anything for you. Cut them some slack, okay? This holiday that's really hard on you, stepmom, might be hard on them too. So the bottom line is to really keep your expectations in check. Think about, what you should be expecting on Mother's Day and, communicate that with your spouse. It's really important that your partner know where you are around this holiday. It's really important that if you want to be celebrated on Mother's Day, that you communicate that with your spouse so that they can take the lead and, figure out something that they can do to celebrate you, something that the kids can do to celebrate you. They need to be taking the lead on this. The kids are 100% not going to do this themselves. They're not even going to do that for their biological mother. They need some encouragement from the adult in their life. So talk to your spouse about your expectations so that everybody's on the same page, and that can avoid a lot of disappointment when the day comes. So number 3, be realistic and flexible. It's really important to keep an open mind around Mother's Day. And like I said, talk about it with your partner and decide on what's realistic given your circumstances. It may be that it's built into, their parenting agreement that the kids are always with their mom on Mother's Day. If that's the case, yeah, you're probably going to feel a little bit like you get the leftovers, but that's not going to change. I mean, the fact is she's their biological mother, and the kids should be with her on Mother's Day, if that's what's in the agreement, right? And regardless of how you feel about her, you need to be flexible and encourage the kids to celebrate her. She's their mother. In an instance like that, one option that you have is to forego Mother's Day altogether and instead recognize Stepmother's Day, which is the following weekend. Did you know that Stepmother's Day is a thing? It sure is, and it's an official thing too. Back in the year 2000, 9-year-old Lizzie Capuzzi decided that she wanted to celebrate her stepmother Joyce. And she came up with the idea of doing that the Sunday after Mother's Day. Well, little Lizzie took it a step further and she reached out to her U.S. Senator, Rick Santorum of Pennsylvania. And on July 11th, 2000, it was published in the Congressional Record that the Sunday after Mother's Day would now be Stepmother's Day. How cool is that? And I mean, for a 9-year-old, that's amazing. So Lizzie was recognized as creating this holiday for recognizing Stepmother's Day. It's not widely known, I'm not going to lie. And, for stepmoms who are sort of used to getting the parenting leftovers, the fact that it's the weekend after Mother's Day, that feels a little bit like second fiddle. That being said, it's our own day, which is really cool. So, you can forego Mother's Day completely and celebrate on Stepmother's Day. And, having an entirely separate holiday may actually help keep you from feeling less than and help you celebrate your own role. The cool thing about being a stepmom on Mother's Day is that we get to set the rules for how we want to celebrate. You don't have to celebrate on Mother's Day. You don't have to celebrate at all. Be open with your partner about your feelings. We talked about this, but it's really important. And don't be shy for asking for what you want. It's a hard conversation, but hopefully your partner recognizes all that you do for the kids around the year and will want to celebrate you in the same way that you celebrate them, Be flexible and be creative. And look, in the same way that mothers all like different things, for Mother's Day, you can ask for and do whatever you want as a stepmother. Does celebrating look like you not seeing anyone in the family and taking a spa day? I don't know, maybe. That's okay. Does it look like having a family brunch and, going out to celebrate? Sure, that's great too. It is totally up to you, and that's a great thing. The other thing I want you to know is that you are not alone. Stepmothers around the world struggle with this holiday. It can be very difficult, and it can reinforce the isolation that many stepmoms feel in this role. But the most important thing for you to understand is that any sort of celebration that happens for you, or lack thereof, if the whole family bypasses it completely and doesn't recognize you at all, neither of those is a reflection on your contributions to the family or to your stepchildren's lives. You matter, and what you do for your family matters on this day and every other day of the year. And I want you to understand that. That is just, if you walk away with anything today, it is that what you do matters, and that some holiday where you may or may not get celebrated isn't a reflection on your contributions and what you do. You matter. Now, if you're stuck for what to ask for Mother's Day or for Stepmother's Day, whichever you're going to celebrate, I have a gift guide up on the site, and I'll put a link to it in the show notes, which you can find at thiscustomlife.com/episode 17. And if you're looking for gifts of any sort, I've got a list for all kinds of holidays at thiscustomlife.com/shop. So go check it out. I love buying gifts for people. My love language is definitely gifts. So I regularly update the site with gift guides for various holidays, including Mother's Day. So check it out when you get a chance. Thanks for joining me today, and we'll see you next week. That's it for this week. If you've enjoyed our chat, I hope you'll help spread the word. Share this episode with friends and head on over to wherever you listen to podcasts and leave me a review. And don't forget, for more great stepmom content, head on over to thiscustomlife.com and follow me on social media. Just search This Custom Life on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Pinterest. Until next time, you keep being you and know that we are in this together. See you here next week.